how often do you actually, like, websites don't rust? If you want to change the content, that doesn't mean you need a new website.
Good to see put a face to all the conversations we've had already.
Yeah, well, you're talking to a real person. Try a
Well,
little something here. I'm gonna try going off of my iPhone. I think I've got a $10,000 camera. This is going through, but I think the iPhone actually does a better job. Let's see. You tell me what you think looks better here.
that'll save me some money. I don't need a $10,000 camera.
Check this out. I think this looks better.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, and then we got a $59 microphone,
Sounds
which
great.
sounds great. Yeah. All right.
All
Cool.
right, help me. Yeah, thank you for your help on the website. We rolled back. I don't know if you guys have people that build websites internally. But I've already engaged with a couple of other people. I like the design we had. I like the change in the messaging. That was a big part of our new website was kind of changing the messaging to the marketplace around what we do. We're trying to, slow transition that because we've been around for 20 years and
Mm.
we don't want to kill the reputation we have, but people know us for products that we had for a decade and we have so much more than that. So I've already engaged with a couple of people that have looked at the design, been in the website itself, and back with just some estimates of this is what it would take to rebuild this the right way on a theme that matters. If you're stuck
I,
with WordPress, but
I think with WordPress, because it is such a common framework, that unless you're like a Fortune 500 company and you just need to have lots of meetings and lots of documentation and these sorts of tools that jack up the price, you could hire someone on Upwork to do this for less than $1,000.
right,
And not to try to save money, but because you can just get there faster. Because most of the design agencies, the price, I know this because we've built websites for 100 grand. The difference is the strategy behind, like, you already have the brand. That's the thing. You already have the messaging. So if you have those components, the technical transfer is actually just mechanical at this point. It's like slicing up, balsamic doc or what's the freaking name of the tool? Like these slicing up wireframes into CSS and
right,
then adding plugins, and because the meat of it, Curtis, is the content itself and what you're saying. And the fact that, like, looking at your SEO,
right,
the core of your SEO, is on RedX related terms. It was brand traffic.
right.
And usability issues is what killed your SEO because it hurt. It was a bad user experience, which then caused Google to not want to show you as much. It was literally that simple. So I think literally, like, I'll just vent if I can for a second,
Please.
because this is Groundhog Day for me because I've been doing this website building thing for over 30 years,
Right.
and literally every week there is a Curtis that comes and his the same situation. And I'm like, all right, let me guess what happened. You hired somebody, paid him a lot of money to build a snazzy website, and for some reason you and they decided you needed a new website.
Yeah, that's a longer story.
Anyway, but whatever it is, like being on WordPress and the way that themes work, and yes, there's tricky things inside Elementor, but I think that 90% of it is just making sure you have the right content
Yeah.
and you use the fundamentals of WordPress plus some plugins for what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So that would be my approach. If the goal is, functionality and performance and leads and people signing up for your system and then the dialing and all that, then, which I think is what we're talking about, then the aesthetic things, fine, make it look nice and there's a new skin to it, but that's really just a matter of CSS.
Right.
You want the menus to look a certain way, certain functionality that you talked about, but I consider it mostly mechanical because it's not like you have a ton of pages, right?
No.
So I don't know. But when you hire a web design agency, the nature of the consulting in multiple disciplines in one will probably, make the price $20,000 to $50,000 just to salvage what you've already been. I assume the money you've already spent is burned and you can't get that back from whoever
Sure.
these
I mean,
other.
if they were going to do the right thing, I'd get some of it back. But no, and it's not hard to take what they designed and throw out whatever elements they feel like they own. And anyway, no, yeah, you're right. I mean, most people are saying I can take that and build it between 1 and 5 grand is kind of
Yeah.
where coming back.
Okay. If
So
it's 1 in 5, I'm not concerned. It's just I get concerned when I see someone put in a 50K bid, that kind of thing.
no,
Okay.
I mean that we already made that mistake.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Sorry, I don't mean to rub the salt,
So we made that
Uh,
mistake,
Okay.
and I did get some out of the higher price point. I think they did help with the strategy around messaging and some of those things and how to group our products and um
But just out of curiosity, I mean, it was a lot of money. Is there any chance you could just send them notes saying, "Hey, look, you guys know the website. This new website cost us dearly, and we had to bring in someone else to fix it, and we lost a lot of traffic, and we trusted you guys. Do you think ethically you should give us back some of the money given what happened?"
yeah, I sent that already and I've had no response in about 10 days, so we'll see.
Do you think just for fun, maybe you could forward that letter to me and I can call them? And in the world of online marketing, I carry a fair amount of weight.
Our attorney is already on it. We have influence.
Okay.
I would love that. So,
Yeah, and I know how to play this game pretty well, but it can't hurt. I would just call them and say, hey, and they'll see my name, and
yep.
I think that will save you some of the legal bills. It'll make things happen a lot faster if they hear from me.
Okay. I would love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get a new website built. In the meantime, there's two things that I long before the website, we said, hey, we don't spend hardly any money on paid traffic. But before a new website, we saw a pretty stark decline in our organic traffic and site traffic in like end of September, October. I
Right.
chalked it up to some of Google's new updates they did in
Yep.
and but it was pretty big, like 30%. We're not doing AI, content. We're not pumping out a bunch of crappy content.
Right.
So I feel like we really focus on writing content that has intrinsic value. If our customers read it, they'll actually get value. And maybe my ego is telling me it's good content and it's just really not. But so there's that thing but the other one is I'm not winning the way I want to win right now.
Right.
And the dynamic of our business is that we're not losing to any one competitor right now, but there's probably been 15 new competitors that have popped up. And so while I'm not losing to any one, I feel like I'm losing market share to all of them. And
Who's the one that's the most painful thorn in the side?
Vulcan 7 and Mojo are the two, and for different reasons. We lose to
Okay.
them on different product sets.
Okay.
Vulcan 7 and Mojo. The one that's the most painful for the business. The one that pisses me off the most is My Plus Leads, because
My
I
Plus
know
Leads. Okay.
I know him very well.
Oh wow. Everything there is My Plus Leads versus Red X. Everyone's comparing.
So
Wow. Okay.
and My Plus Leads and Vulcan 7 took over a major affiliate by coming in and writing him a check for $1 million. So the guy just said, we're done. We're not going to promote you anymore. He was probably 8% of our total business came from that one affiliate.
Oh wow. Well, affiliates are paid for hire, so I get it.
But I hate losing to those guys, and they seem to spend a lot of money to try to win against us. And I'm not even playing that game. I mean,
No.
I'm not even competing with them where they are. So that's a big thing to me. Anytime we've done Google in the past, some AdWords, we did really well on competitor keywords.
Okay.
And we do have content assets of, from users saying, I used Red X and I used Vulcan 7
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this is why I chose Vulcan. So we have good
All right.
assets.
That's perfect for competitive bidding because then the relevancy's high. Well,
Right.
why don't we just reactivate your existing ad campaigns?
You'd have to get in there and do that. I know nothing about those.
Well, let us come in and do an audit. Or if you have access, we could just take a look right now. It'll take 2 minutes. Google.com/ads, and then log in with whatever email is admin on it. And you have Daniel and me here. We've looked at many an ad campaign. How long ago was it?
It's been a hot minute since we've really done anything.
So more than a couple of years. So you've not run things like
Yeah.
Performance Max. Okay.
No, but I really want to.
Okay. Or getting all the different extensions in place.
Yep.
Site links. Okay.
Okay, so
Phone
where do
numbers.
I
Just go to the green button in the bottom center, share screen.
I'm gonna share the screen here.
This might be fun because maybe we just need to dust it off a little bit, hopefully.
I don't know. But again, a lot of our content, yeah, maybe you're right. Okay, I have a new computer, and it's not going to let me share my screen unless I reboot Zoom. So,
Sometimes it'll
what's
say
the
you need to reboot, but often you can go back in and it'll just let you have it.
okay? Let me change my system preferences then, and
Yeah, just click the little green thing to allow it, and if you need to, leave Zoom and come back, that's fine. But usually it says you have to reboot, and you don't have to actually.
no, it's going to make me turn this on. All right, I might hop back in.
Okay.
Okay, back in. Now let's see.
All right. All right. And we're good buddies with Mike Roberts, who created SpyFu, which is the competitive keyword research tool. So we can see the keywords they're bidding on, the ads they're running, that whole thing. Okay, let's see. Let's go to change the time frame to all time, top right, and then go to campaigns. Yeah, there you go. And the left side, hit campaigns under overview. Yeah, 2 down from the overview, 3 down from the overview. Yeah. Oh, they're trying to make you go through this whole like new
Not a
person
big fan of the
walkthrough.
new layout. I like the old layout better.
Yeah.
So this is the overview.
So you
I'm in campaigns.
mainly on a little lower. Yeah, that one. Campaigns. Yeah. This is it's confusing because campaigns is in there twice. Okay. And on the right there,
Okay. I think we had another ad campaigns account.
there's only 1,000. There's not much money being spent. Scroll the bottom, see how much money is being spent, and scroll over 3 million impressions. And what is it? $8,000. What is it? 3,000? $4,000. Okay. Well, that's not a lot.
Yep.
Now,
Well,
there must be another account, right?
There must be another account because we've run campaigns beyond 2010.
Okay. Well, it must be under some other name then, whatever you're logged in on.
Yeah.
Do you have everything set up by chance? Probably not, but I'll ask in a MCC, see multiple accounts, if you have multiple accounts, or if you've granted agency access.
So here's another campaign all time. How come it won't show me all time?
Daniel, you can see everything here, so we can look at what these conversions are.
Yeah, I've got it open. I'm
Okay.
See, this is one that we've run all the way for 21.
Yeah.
So, but this is an ad campaign that I
Can we sort by spend descending for these gear? I guess you're sorted by interactions, but it's probably going to align with spend.
you want average CPM spend or
no, how much money is being spent? Yeah, the cost. Yeah, sort by cost descending.
So we've spent a total of 50 in there total.
All right, scroll up so we can look at usually the top 2 or 3 campaigns spend all the money, even though you got a ton of campaigns here. So yeah, you have like basically 3 or 4, and then after that, it's not much. Competitors, brands, and products. Okay, click on that one, and then let's go. That'll take us to the ad group level, and then okay, go up. So this is kind of like the drill down on where the money's being spent. Let's look at that first one, where the money's being more money's being spent on the first one. Competitor, Land Voice. This looks like
Land Voice back then was probably a pretty big, decent competitor.
Okay.
They're not anymore. They're almost non-existent.
Okay. And just for fun, go to the ad level and then let's click on columns and add quality score. So under ad groups, click on ads and then columns across to the right there and look for quality score.
Do you know where?
Scroll down. It should be towards the bottom. Let's see, where do they hide this thing? One of these is, or sorry, the keyword level. Wait, did you go to the keyword level?
Keywords?
Yeah, so in that menu on the left, click audiences, keywords, and content.
My bad. We were looking at the ads. Yeah.
Sorry.
A little lower, where the blue thing is, it's highlighted 2 or 3 below that. Yeah. Oh, why they should put it under. Now they normally no, you had it there. Yeah. See lower audiences, keywords, and content.
Got it.
Click on that. Then go to search keywords and now go to columns, look for quality score.
It's under competitive
there
metrics.
It is. Yeah. Quality score. Okay.
Any other ones?
And just for fun, put in landing page and
do ad relevance too.
Yeah, ad relevance. Yeah. The other ad relevance. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Okay. All right. And scroll down and then a little over so we can see
quality scores. None.
Because
the conversion rate's
so
super high.
Because it's been so long, they may not keep the quality score active.
Yeah.
Since it's been so long since there's money spent.
Historic. Let me just try it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Historic ones.
All right. So that is wow. That's This is really good news.
Especially on competitor terms. That's
on
impressive.
competitor terms, a quality score of 7 on competitor terms.
It's really
like, okay,
good.
I can see it on brand terms, on your own terms, but if you're getting a 7, that means wherever they're going is super relevant, because then it's Land Voice or Vulcan 7 or whoever. Like, they see it as actually relevant because they came in on a brand search thinking they're looking at Vulcan 7. So they haven't, and normally when it's a brand search, they've sort of decided that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
But this is really good news. And the conversion rate of 10% is a lot higher than I would have expected.
Oh, this is the lowest score when they were looking for their login for Land Voice.
Look, you even got some people who were going to log in to switch. Wow. I want to know what's on that landing page.
Man, I don't even look at some of these things. I'm like, I don't even
Yeah.
I
mean,
know.
the ad group, we can look at the ad and then that'll take us to the landing page, and we could reactivate it or update it to whatever the latest things are you want to say, you know?
Right.
This is great news. So, wow. So the ads you ran were mostly on competitor terms instead of like auto dialer or real estate leads or that kind of thing.
And look, the market has changed significantly in just 5 years.
Okay.
And so we, I want to look at this as a data point and go for it. But there's a lot of keywords I'm not competing on. And I have to wonder, why are they competing on those? Why are they spending money to get traffic from this? And if they are, I'm like, maybe I should be too.
Yeah, we should too. So you can use SpyFu, and
Yeah.
we can see all the keywords there, and then we'll just taste them and basically rent the keywords. And if they're good, then we'll put more money on it. Usually, if it's working for them, it'll work for us unless they have some feature or some differentiator that we can't bid on it.
Yep.
This is fantastic.
So I'm ready. I'm ready to get started.
Wow, this is really good news.
Good.
And Daniel, what about the conversion tracking, and how does that tie with these conversions here? Help us on this.
Yeah, so on the very left side of the screen, there's a goals button. It's underneath it looks like a little trophy. Yeah, and then click on, it's bringing us right to where I need to be. Never mind, we're good.
They keep trying to irritate us with these little pop-ups.
Yeah, trying to teach you how to use it. Okay. So you had calls from ads, calls from the website, calls from extension. Can you scroll down a little bit more? It was just phone calls. That was the only conversion.
Wow. I love phone calls. Phone calls are my favorite conversion.
And so the calls from ad, there shouldn't be any adjustments there. The calls from website, we may have to investigate to see if that's still set up. But the calls from ads should just, once you turn the campaign back on, it should just start running again.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if the landing pages exist anymore.
Yeah, we'll have to explore that, obviously.
Or if the content's relevant. Like some of those we were winning with a completely different product.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to. But again, this is where I'm like, we have so many assets that if you said, hey, this is what we like our landing pages to look like because they convert.
Yeah.
We can pull it assets. We can customize it.
Huh.
We're like, if you told me today, hey, we're going to go run against Vulcan 7. I have sales guys at an event right now where Vulcan 7 and Red X are both sponsoring. And I have customers coming to the booth right now saying, oh, I tried those guys. I would never use them again.
Can you get quick little 1-minute videos as they walk into the booth?
Yes. And so that's my point is we can get the right content, but I've never had a core competency on my team around running paid ads. So we
don't need to. Once they're set up properly, it's a little bit of management here and there. The whole thing is it's got to be set up right, and then you're feeding content into the engine. And the whole thing with Facebook Advantage Plus and Google Performance Max is you put all the stuff in one bucket and the system optimizes for you. Performance Max, as goes across everything. So it's not just search competitor terms, it's retargeting them on across YouTube and all these places, right?
Yeah, and our YouTube is not crazy, but we've got 10,000 subscribers and we get a lot of views on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to run $1 a day there. So anyone who's watched the video for more than a minute, that's probably someone we want to keep hitting with other messages.
Yep.
So that's not hard to do.
And I just want to win. I mean, look, in full transparency, 2023 was a real crappy year for us. And it's the first time in we've been around 20 years and we've had 2 years of negative growth. And 2023 was one of them. And so, and then so on top of that, a quick swift kick to the groin in December with our website stuff.
Yeah.
Is, so I just need to know what it takes to, what does an engagement look like? Yeah, because if we can start generating phone calls,
Yeah.
I already know all my data on that.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
if it's an inbound call, I'm 60% of the time I'm going to close that.
And the calls, is it call rail or how are we tracking those?
I don't know how we did that before,
Okay.
honestly. I mean, my sales guys use a phone system now called Front Spin,
Okay.
and but we have full, but even that goes through our own homegrown asterisk system, so I can get all the phone metrics we
Okay.
want.
Oh, you're on top of Asterisk. Okay, great. So
So,
the key is I want to be able to track these calls to actual clients and have some sort of actual or implied LTV or, I know over time, people have to be,
yeah,
over months and months, the LTV increases, but we could
right.
use some sort of average customer value and therefore set a target CPA, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because and that's, we could do that as simply as creating a new DID phone number for those landing pages.
Yep.
So any call that
Yeah.
comes in through those, they hit it from the landing page.
Yep.
So we can easily do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just have, a bucket of numbers depending on how we want, how granular they want to be on the tracking. But yeah. Okay.
Um,
So,
and then the other thing we do is we're pretty meticulous about UTM codes everywhere.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know that, but
Daniel, how good do you feel about conversion tracking? You understand what I'm going for here, but what's missing? What else do we need?
I think we just need to investigate and look at the existing setup, because if they already have something built out, I don't know if there's a way to automatically import from, what was the phone system you said you used again? Sorry, you said it and I can't remember what
Built
it
a
was.
custom on top of Asterisk?
yeah, that's our internal, like our IVR and our customer support.
Okay.
The sales guys use Front Spin, which is,
Okay.
sits on top of Salesforce.
Okay.
Let
But you
me
have it going
look
through
at
Salesforce.
We kind of duct tape that together. We only have one license of, yes, the leads go from, we use marketing, Infusionsoft for a lot of our marketing.
Okay. So do we.
And that's because it's so painful after 15 years.
Yeah, you can't. We've been on them forever too. You've got everything already built. You don't migrate it. Yeah.
So, a lot of our marketing automation where all the leads are captured,
Mm.
then Infusionsoft to Salesforce, and Front Spin sits on top of Salesforce.
Okay, but where's the source of where do we say this is a new client and this is the revenue?
From the sales team, or an online sign up process.
Okay, but where's the source of truth? Based on what you're saying, I would think it'd be Salesforce.
The source of truth ultimately is our CRM that we use internally.
Okay.
We use
All
our
right.
own admin system. That's where they're invoiced.
Okay.
Which
Okay. Well,
and
so let me ask you another way. So
you
when
have
these phone
tracking
calls come
through
in,
that. So
where do we determine that these are highly qualified sales leads?
if the phone call comes in through the IVR system, we count everything that says I want to talk to sales.
Uh-huh.
We're going to look at that, and if we transfer that back to support, that's the only time we wouldn't count that inbound, because my conversion rate on an inbound call is like 62%.
So it's so high, we probably aren't going to be worried about that unless somehow
If
we bid on garbage terms or something.
But I want to win online also. I do want to drive people to our online sign up process because of two things. One is if you go click sign up on our website right now,
Mm-hmm.
first screen is a lead capture, is a lead.
Right.
So we don't do a shopping cart. We ask for their name and phone number first.
Right.
Then they click next because because our sign up process needs a lot of work. I have really high abandon rates.
Okay.
But I also will interrupt the online sign up process with an outbound call
Right.
because my guys average a $500 sale, online averages $100 sale.
Right.
So they'll be in the middle of it and they'll get a call. It's like, hey, I saw you
Yeah.
on our website. You want,
Yeah.
oh, did you have, and I don't mind, paying the commission to a sales guy.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what we do have, I think this will help us, whether they're signing up on the website or my sales guy is signing someone up.
Right.
It is the same sign up process. We just call it internal or external.
Okay. Okay.
And so you're not going to track IP traffic through that. But somehow I think we did have a Google tag manager that would show, hey, when I get to this, like, hey, you just successfully signed up.
Yeah.
And then we were passing in financial data, I think, into Google Tag Manager, something to track that, whether that was Data Studio or something.
Daniel, did you work on that?
I don't think we ever got that far. We were just focused on trying to help get some of the direct none done, but I'd love to take a look and see what's going on. I know if we can get, I think that's the next step for us, is just dive into the Google Ad account a little more, dive into the Google Tag Manager account, look at Google Analytics, all that stuff, and just see what existed back then and what we can revive and what we may need to rebuild. But it sounds like somewhere there's some good bones that we can use to start to pull stuff back in.
Yep.
So you see, we just want to have a clear signal. Like, I love phone calls and the fact 60% of them are good. That's good. But I'd love to take it just one step further than that and then pass that signal back to Google and Facebook that then helps us optimize. The fact that you're doing this just off of brand terms is kind of an anomaly. But when we go beyond brand terms, we have to pass that through so we can actually leverage the conversion optimization. And then I know we can revive these ad campaigns for sure. Like, I know we could turn them on like they are now and clean them up because the product's changed and, whatever, landing pages might not work anymore. But I want to go a step further than that. I want to have a machine that's working properly.
Amen.
Yeah. And then over time, I would think it would take us 90 days, depending on how fast you can bring in-house resources. But I want to train someone in-house who's yours.
Okay.
Like, we'll get it built out over 90 days and then your people take over. That's what I like to see in most companies.
Okay. Okay.
So we have a package for that.
Okay.
And let me show you what the steps are. And Daniel and I have taught this at who knows how many seminars, but it's these 6 phases called the social amplification engine. Okay. And this first, you can see this, right?
Yep.
So this first phase is of the plumbing is making sure we have all the data. So largely that's Google Tag Manager, UTM parameters, conversion tracking, just making sure all the data is connected, right? Then the goals are, we need to see, all right, of these calls, what happens to them as they go through Salesforce, Infusionsoft, the custom thing? How much can we spend basically? And therefore we can pass that back. And this sits on top of plumbing. Because if the data is flowing, then we can basically assign values to different things. In this case, calls and leads kind of work together because of even, if you sign up for HubSpot or Salesforce, they have I don't know how many sales reps they have to be able to do this, but they call you right away as you're still on the page,
right?
Which is insane. And of course, that works well, as you know, for all those reasons, but you have to have salespeople on the go ready to do that. So with this conversion tracking, we know, tracking it all the way through, we know how much we can afford to spend and we can allow the system to optimize. Then it's just a matter of tuning the content and, at the trade shows, collecting competitive information, customer testimonials, all this, real estate agents, they like to go based on what other real estate agents are doing, especially. For some reason, they are more like relationship oriented and they want to be on the phone. They don't want to fill out forms. I think that's why you have a high abandonment rate. Like real estate agents especially just seem to have a low tolerance for forms and they just want to talk on the phone with people. As you know better than we do, I'm sure. Then targeting is straight up. So let's start with the brand terms and then let's move into the competitive terms. So let's see what these other guys are doing and just taste their traffic. Let's get, because with the Facebook ads library, we can see the ads that other people are running. Exactly. We can copy them.
So there's 2 things. One on data. And I say this with trepidation, because we call it our Coke list, our Coca-Cola list, because it's a tight kept secret, but because of what we do with MLSs and because we have some data scientists on, that help with our product, I can essentially get a list of anybody who is working the lead types that we sell that is not using our products to work them.
Oh, well, that's great. Yeah, that list buying, fantastic. Yeah, then we can upload those as custom audiences and go after them on LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, all that.
We have some really unique and not to mention that we have a huge top of funnel. So I only have 13,000 customers, but my newsletter is and maybe this isn't good. I think it's good. I don't believe open rates anymore, but open rates are like 60% open rates. But I'm getting like a 5% click through on a weekly newsletter.
That's really high.
And that's like 100,000 people. So I have really big top of funnel.
Let's retarget the heck out of that. I think the retargeting plus branded terms will get us most of the way there. We don't even have to get fancy. The fact you already you can buy these lists of people who use the other guys, whatever. Yeah, we can, but those are all part of the targeting phase, which are just custom audiences. Create lookalikes against them, all that.
Are you doing anything with geo fencing?
We can, but usually that doesn't work. A lot of digital marketers love to talk about that. Like personal injury attorneys love to target hospitals or target people who are at a conference within a block of the hotel or whatnot. But the geofencing tends to be really low volume. We can do it like if there's a key event or it's something
Right.
that's happening in a certain area, but it's
Me,
very hit and miss.
It's the vendor I told you about, the affiliate, where we still have
Okay.
a huge amount of customers.
Okay.
So I would want to mostly do like a brand reinforcement campaign, so that
Yeah.
and then they're in there and the vendors are saying there's a reason why we don't work with Red X anymore. Sign up for these guys. That
Yeah.
they're getting reassuring messaging. At least
Yeah.
that would be some of the stuff I'd want to do there. But
So yeah, that's an extension of this ninja dollar a day targeting that
right, okay,
we're really well known for. So targeting all the people that are influential in real estate or lead gen or
right,
whatnot, targeting the media, all of that. Yeah.
right.
Competitors. I'd even target the people who work at these other companies just so they can see this. Even though there's no direct ROI off of that. I just like to do that.
No, there's an ROI to my ego with them seeing all that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you see them at the conference, they'll say something about, oh, there's salespeople and whatever will get disheartened. It's like dropping leaflets in, Palestine or
Propaganda.
whatever,
That's right.
I'm semi-famous for doing that. If you probably Google me, you'll see examples. Yeah. We
So
just got Allegiant Airlines as a client, by the way, to do the
oh,
same thing. Actually, the pilots union,
that's awesome.
because they're fighting Allegiant management because they've been underpaid and compared to American Airlines and Southwest and all that. So anyway,
Well, if you've flown Allegiant, I don't know. It's maybe there's a reason.
well, there's a whole complicated thing. I mean, the way, yeah, there's
Okay, so this program that you have here, we're talking all paid ads, not just Google.
this is not just Google, but the thing is, we'll do all of it, but not all at once. We'll do whatever's the highest priority. So it looks like I think branded terms on Google is a no-brainer place to start.
Right.
But the idea of social amplification, it's not socials and social media as in Facebook ads, social as in you have real feedback from customers,
Right.
from these real estate agent people, they're saying this, they're saying that. There's proof that people like Red X. And so we just want to amplify that through these other channels, letting the Facebook and Google algorithm organically and paid get us what we want. So as you have this content, we want to use ChatGPT as an editor to take the existing content and improve upon it, not just like auto generate garbage, right? I'm not saying don't use AI. I'm just saying let's use AI the right way.
Man, yep.
Yeah. And so paid leads the way because paid is renting the car until we decide we want to buy the car.
Right.
And we're just doing that at scale across a lot of keywords and whatnot, deciding what's worthwhile. And then that optimization phase comes into 6 as we start to really tune. So the more campaigns we have, the more keywords, the more assets we have, the more there is to optimize against.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the thing that we've been doing forever. And we have it at blitzmetrics.com/CEP, which is the conversion engine package. And it's $3,500 a month to month. And you could have us keep going as long as you want or until you get your own people. Some companies just want us to keep doing it. And other companies, they want to do it the way we recommend, which is we'll build it and then you have in-house people maintain and operate it. The level of skill necessary to build it is very different than to operate it. It's very hard to find people who are good enough to build it who will work for you in-house. But there's a lot, to maintain and operate it. You just need, someone out of BYU or whatever who's really smart and they can follow our directions.
What do you, just so I can make sure I'm looking at all of the numbers the right way, what do you think we should be looking at in terms of ad spend?
It's whatever's profitable. I mean, if you have to go from a budgeting standpoint, maybe we just say, let's start at how much you were spending before. So what was that, like a few thousand a month as a starting point? But if it's profitable, why wouldn't we increase it to whatever point where
it is? I just want to be able to,
because I never view ad spend
where
as
we scale it.
Yeah, sometimes there's like a budget planning process where you have to get the money for 2024, whatever it is. But I view advertising as a profit center where every dollar that comes in, I'm getting an extra $4 or $5 back. So if I'm spending $100,000 a month, I'm getting $500,000 back. I'd love to spend $200,000 a month.
Right. And if I can clearly show that, then I agree. I'd scale as much as we can.
Yeah.
We can look okay. I just didn't know if you thought, hey, during this 90-day phase, we want a minimum because, if you tell me you can only spend $1,000, there's not enough.
No, what other people that specialize just in PPC do is they'll say, well, our fee is 3,000 a month, but if you spend more than 10, then it goes up based on 20% of ad spend. And
Right.
we just don't believe in that. We think like whatever money you give to Google or Facebook or whatever is money with no markup. And then B, it's your account. So it's not like, oh, we built all these ads. It's our intellectual property. So if you leave us, it's ours. So we have you locked in. So we want it to be in-house. We don't want there to be an incentive for us to spend more money just because our fee is tied to it. So if you spend $200,000 a month and we're getting 3,000, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Because if it's working, it's the same amount of effort. It's not like spending 200,000 a month is like 100 times more effort than spending 2,000. It's just turning the knob more. That's all.
Right. Okay. All right. This is what I needed. I need to go back and chat with the team.
Yeah. And just know that there's a bunch of setup items. So this is not like we just come in and start turning on ads. You see those 6 phases, like that's why the plumbing, that's why the website loading fast, like all these things are necessary, because if we drive to traffic and the website is slow, we're bleeding, right?
Right.
It's always like dumb stuff like this that has nothing to do with the advertising itself. But unfortunately, we are accountable to that. So we have to make sure it gets fixed.
Right.
Because if we're spending the money, we can't just say, oh, well, we're only in charge of the ads. So who cares about this other problem? That it's going to the wrong phone number, or the salesperson isn't answering the phone or something like that. We have to care about the whole process all the way through to where there's money being made.
I think that, well, and that's part of what I want to talk to the team about is I want to make sure that we can devote the internal attention to it so that we don't move slow, that we can get things fixed. And, the website is functional now.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to switch it without really understanding a new one is going to be.
Well, Curtis, you stepped in the piece of doo-doo on the sidewalk that, the dog do that people step in all the, this happens really often, right?
Oh, I know.
The shiny website. And yes, you needed a new website, but, you didn't test it and that whole thing.
Right. Well, and the problem right now is the website we have now is built on a custom theme that doesn't even work if I update WordPress. So that's one of the issues I have now. I need to get on a new theme.
Well, that's a custom thing. Yeah. I mean, that's why we don't really like custom, because then you're stuck having to maintain the thing forever, and it's not replicable.
I think the company that we hired mostly does custom websites, and they didn't know how to build anything on WordPress. And
they'll give you all the reasons on why it needs to be custom, which to their benefit locks you in because you're on their thing.
Yep. I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna build a new site, but we're gonna do that the correct way this time. So and if we're driving a lot of this traffic to pages, we use lead pages.
Okay, that's great.
Right, so because that's what I've used for 10 years on Infusionsoft. So okay, let me talk to the team. These are decisions I'm gonna make this week. So you'll know really soon.
Yeah, I don't get the sense that you're some giant corporation that needs like 5 meetings to do and PowerPoints to do everything.
But I do hate wasting money, which is
right.
And to me, it would be wasting money if I don't have a team that's focused on getting the right assets, building the landing pages that we need, and helping with the optimization of it. So I just need to make sure I've got buy-in from everybody involved.
That's smart. But just know that most of it's front loaded as part of setup.
Right.
So even though they're, I'm sure these other team members are already busy doing lots of other things, we do need their time in the beginning, but it's only in the beginning, and then just a little bit of support here and there. So because a lot of times internal teams will balk and say, oh, I'm already overloaded. We need to hire a contractor to do that. All the employee sorts of excuses for not wanting to do the things we want. Right.
Yeah, I feel like somebody should jump at the opportunity to say, I would let you be the one that gets trained. Like
but they have to have a financial incentive if they're an employee.
I know. And
because you're an owner, so you naturally, like, you and I are carrot people. I hate to like categorize, but I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs. You and I we're carrot people. You dangle the carrot. There's no need to explain to a carrot person of what the opportunity is. But most employees are stick people, and so stick people are motivated by the disincentive of getting in trouble or being fired, or it's the positive negative reinforcement. B.F. Skinner salivating, dog's bells, that whole behaviorism thing. So I think if you dangle the right reward and then people will, if they're an employee, they're going to want to do it, right? There's nothing wrong with being an employee. We need employees because we want people to stay in
No,
these positions and hold functions, you know?
Well, and to me, I'm like, yeah, I would reward somebody on it's like a sales commission.
Yeah.
If we're profitable and we're bringing it in and making sales, then you can win on the upside of this program.
I believe everybody should earn bonuses if they do good things, not just salespeople.
Yep, I agree. I wish I could figure out how to incent developers that way.
It's the same thing, except what I've discovered is that even with developers that make 6 figures plus a year, the symbolic, like a good developer has a really good ego. That's just how it is. They just go hand in hand. And so even if it's just like $1,000, if you get this project done by February 1st, even though that's not a lot of money, like just the ego of like, winning that is enough. So, I mean, literally measurement, and it doesn't have to be like $10,000 or something, you know?
Yeah.
Literally like even I've done stuff where like $100 is enough to get people motivated.
Right.
And these are people who make a lot of money.
Yeah.
The very fact that there's an award is enough to get people to do stuff.